Welcome into another edition of the Fantasy Football Power Hour. I am your host, Seth Burchett, the Phoenix Rocket, on all forms of social media. Joined alongside my partners in crime every Friday night. We were a game time decision tonight. We thought we might have to move the show, but alas, the injury report comes through as it typically does for us. And we are here live and in living color on Friday night. Again, this is the SBFFC's Fantasy Football Power Hour on the TN2M network of shows. Joined with my co-host, Mr. Chuck Ellis, and the founder, commissioner, president, the creator, all of those good things of the SBFFC, Dr. Brian Harwood. Gentlemen, how's it going tonight?
Good evening, sir. It's going well. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm fantastic. Dr. Harwood, there are fewer things I would rather be doing than talking with you guys here on YouTube on a Friday night.
Well, I tell you what, I had some good ribs and pork shoulder tonight. My buddy Dan Probst, Ugly Cats, he's a co-owner of the SBFFC with me every now and then. He had his birthday today.
Didn't he co-own baseball with you too?
Well, this past year, no, because he didn't make it, but
that's
he
right.
has co-owned in the past, and he probably will again.
Yeah,
he just that was a mix-up. That was a mix-up, but he had a birthday today, so we went up to a place called Mama Jane's up in Uno, Kentucky. It's like a barbecue place.
I've never heard of it, but
I never have either.
Those hole-in-the-wall type places in small towns are typically where you're going to find your best stuff.
So we had a half rack of ribs, Seth and Chuck, and that half rack of ribs, it'd be like a whole rack of ribs at a restaurant, at a chain.
Oh, wow.
And nice. It was pretty doggone good, and the shoulder was fine, and it was off 31 E. It's at the you got that restaurant, you got a church, you got a post office, and nothing else.
And one stoplight. I love those kind of towns.
We don't even have they have a stoplight.
No, just a stop sign on the square.
There's a stop sign on the square, four corners there, and
I like that.
Yeah, it's good living.
I tell you what, it's some good food. They were missing macaroni and cheese, but the baked beans were good. And I tell you what, it's it's almost as good as the hog wild barbecue.
Well, the hog wild barbecue is pretty good, and I'm petitioning to get the catfish both days next year because that catfish is awfully good.
Yes, sir.
I get it on Friday nights just because I'm certain it's not going to be there on Saturday, so I'll make sure I get it on Friday nights, and it's fantastic. I grew up in a small town like that, not quite that small. Yeah, I grew up so you're from a small town when it's known for the Dairy Queen, which is where I'm from, which now they have a little more claim to fame because it's the hometown of Chris Stapleton and Tyler Childers. But when you would go to Paintsville, Kentucky, which is where I'm from, and you ask people, well, where do you go eat? And for the longest time is, well, you got to go to the Dairy Queen. And it's still the same. It's a walk-up Dairy Queen. You don't have a place to sit down. Like, you don't go into the restaurant. You just walk up. Well, no, he would just actually go through the drive-through. And inside the window. But they do all their own food. It's really just a Dairy Queen for the ice cream stuff. And so you walk up, they do everything old school. There's no computers. They write everything on a pad, and you get a number and you stand and wait for them to call your number. And then you walk back up to the window and get your food. Those are the type of places I love. But I digress because no one's here to listen to me yap about Dairy Queen in Paintsville, Kentucky. They're here to hear fantasy football. And first of all, might I say, and this is very, very self-serving, but I will not be having any shares of Labna Kentucky. You could give him to me in the 20th round. I wouldn't take him next year, no matter what. Because all I needed to win a division was 5 points. That's it. And I got
4.3.
I got 2.2. Oh. So, Labna Kentucky, you are dead to me. Not that he cares. He's still making millions, but just it makes me feel better to say it out loud.
Now, if he gets injured and breaks his leg, then you might have something to do with that.
Well, I don't. No. I don't wish. As a football coach, I don't ever wish injury on anybody. But
I do.
To tie it in to this week, you know who I started last night, guys?
Yeah, you started a guy that you mention almost every week, and he's like he's a Jekyll and Hyde type play. But I'm proud of you for taking that risk, and I want you to tell these SBFFC owners in the championship round that it's okay to take risks.
Yeah.
So here's what I've decided. Okay, I kind of know what my team is week in and week out. I got a pretty good idea, and I believe in a format like the SBFFC, you've got to swing for the fences and be a little different. And so what I have done is I've just decided to shake my lineup up a little bit. So I started Kyle Pitts first on the leaderboard all the way up to 8th with just one player. And so I am setting in a good position to as long as everybody else does what they're supposed to. I'm sitting in a pretty good position, but I made some changes to my lineup. I sat Ladd McConkey and I sat Breece Hall, which, by the way, I think Breece Hall is an absolutely cannot start this week. I don't think there's any situation you would have to be awfully desperate for me to believe that you have to start Breece Hall because without getting too far ahead of the analysis tonight that everyone tunes in for because it is expert. Chuck, they have announced Tyrod Taylor's not starting. There's no Justin Fields. Without a capable quarterback, I don't think you can start any Jet this week.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I would just
the head shake says it all. Yeah, you can't do it.
That team is so bad. I picked up the Miami Dolphins defense last week and used them. I streamed them last week because they were playing the Jets. They were good for 17 points. Jets.
I streamed the Commanders, and it was a mistake. I should have listened to you, Chuck.
I'm sorry, buddy. I tried.
I should have listened.
But no, the Jets. The Jets are in a tailspin. They're completely falling apart. I would no parts of that team anywhere. Done.
Dr. Harwood, Jets. Is there any Jet you can play at all this week?
No. I had Donovan Mitchell. I had him on fanball last week, and he scored 0 points, and this week he's projected to score twice as many. And
I think if
Breece Hall has
the whole game, then maybe I think Mitchell probably fares better, as does the rest of the Jets. But without a capable quarterback, I just don't think you can roll with it.
Hey, Chuck, Tyrod Taylor, he led the fade to victory, didn't he?
That's the rumor.
Huh?
That's the rumor.
I mean, he could win Bryce Young, but
yeah,
Tyrod Taylor, as they say in the wrestling business, very capable preliminary wrestler, but
that's right. He's there. He's a dark match guy. He's not making the main TV. He's a dark match guy. He's filler. Last night, though, a little surprised with the outcome of the game. A 1-point victory for the Falcons, and a lot of fantasy interest here. And it's been a while since we've had a Thursday night game that we can talk about, Chuck, that had significant fantasy impact for the week. And I think this is the first time in a while. If you started Kyle Pitts, congratulations, because he in PPR formats got about 45 points. Bijan had a great game, had a Bijan game. The guy that you drafted 2 overall, mostly, maybe he fell past 2, but mostly 2 from what I had seen. He gave you the performance that you expected. Baker looked pretty good. Kirk Cousins, nobody started him unless it was super flex. But if you started Kirk Cousins, you had a good week. And Mike Evans, I love Mike Evans. Dr. Harwood, I've been on Mike Evans for a long time. And when he's healthy, he's good. When he's playing, he's good. Yeah, he's not going to get 1,000 this year. That was a prediction I made before. But I am not I'm not done with Mike Evans. If I could have shares of him, I would right now. But he looked good. Chris Godwin looked good.
Yuka didn't look bad.
Yeah, but he didn't have the stats that you want. Not what he had in early to middle of the season.
No, well, I went ahead and cashed his prop out.
I'm good because
I got $92 out of it.
Well, I mean, you made money. That's what we're hoping for.
And I took that $92 and added 8 and had a $100 parlay for $250 and one SBFFC team on it.
Nice.
And you know how the SBFFC team was won? It was due to I had a couple quarterbacks that passed over 300 yards. It was Prescott and Goff.
Okay.
Is what it was. So I kind of paid $100 up front, and then I paid myself back that 92 to win that parlay. So I kind of used that money to win an SBFFC team.
It works all around.
So, but then now he went over his prop last night. It was like 48 yards. But it surprised me that Kyle Pitts' 54.5 receiving yards last night was the prop. And no, it was 59.5. Excuse me. It was 59.5. It went down to 54.5 by game time. And then I bet the over because my buddy Krantz, he bet the under at 54.5. No, 59.5, excuse me. He bet at 59.5, and I got the over at 54.5.
Well,
so I'm like, I went the other way, and it really helped me out.
My new theory on Kyle Pitts, who I've had a love-hate relationship with all year, because it's the first week really in the main event that I've gotten the tight end position correct. Because I don't think any other tight end on my bench is going to score 45 points. I don't know that there might not be another player this week score 45 points. But
Chuck, did you have Pitts on the? Who had him on your league? Because it's 0.5 PPR, tight end premium. I have Pitts starting on the playoffs over there.
I'm not sure. I'd have to go in and look. But I tell you what, last night's game, and like you're talking about Kyle Pitts, boy, if you were lucky enough to dial him in for the playoffs, man, wasn't that coffee tasting sweeter this morning?
It was fantastic. Let me tell you.
Didn't your wife look at you differently at the breakfast table this morning? I mean, it was the birds. The birds were chirping. There was rainbows. It's just one of those mornings. But I tell you something I noticed last night, guys. A gentleman by the name of David Sills, 10 targets last night for Atlanta. And then Kyle Pitts had 12 targets and Bijan 11 targets in that game for 8 catches for, I think, 82 or 83 yards. Very good fantasy output on the Falcons side. Kirk Cousins was chucking it. It was one of those games that had that playoff feel. It was actually exciting. Like you said, we don't have many Thursday night games like that, but it was very exciting. Unfortunately, one of those teams had to lose, and Tampa Bay is kind of falling apart. And people who are relying on Bucky in the playoffs, I don't know. I mean, this is 2 weeks in a row where Sean Tucker's got the goal line touches, so that puts a bad taste in your stomach and in your mouth. And we'll have to see going forward. But I think this Atlanta team might be clicking a little bit, and you might could get some cheap points out of them in the playoffs here.
Well, I'm going to tell you something about Sean Tucker. Matt Krantz told everybody in his WK Insider group last night to bet at plus 550 odds that Sean Tucker was going to score a touchdown. He hit the pay window for 110.
Good deal.
So that was the Matt Krantz Thursday night special of the week, Mr. Tucker.
I think moving forward, I'm going to call this the Pitts rule. If Drake London is out, Kyle Pitts is a must start, because in the games that he's not played, and especially with Kirk Cousins at quarterback, he's getting double-digit targets. There's not many tight ends in the league that are getting double-digit targets on any given week, and the fact that he's gotten them multiple weeks with Kirk Cousins at quarterback, with Drake London out, and who knows when Drake London's going to come back. I'm not certain that this is not something that's lingering that could linger, for a few more weeks. And so I think Pitt's value goes up tremendously, and becomes a must start at the tight end position. And believe me, I never thought I was going to say that this year. Those are words that I've never thought, Dr. Harwood, were going to come out of my mouth. As Pitts is a must start.
Well,
but if Drake London's out, I think he is.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Les Franklin, Team Lebowski, longtime SBFFC owner, captain, won best record this season in the Overtime Sports Bar and Grill division. Also had Kyle Pitts starting last night, and that was a move of genius too. So not very many people is going to have Kyle Pitts in this playoff run, and you've got a lot of guys that a lot of people started off fast last night in this tournament, and Les Franklin, he's up to 5th place overall in the Champions leaderboard. And Seth, where are you ranked right now on the championship board?
8th.
So right now you're 8. Okay, I see it. Okay.
Yeah, and that's just with one. That's just one player going. So that makes me feel better.
Okay. This is a wide open tournament. You've had a lot of first place different teams. This is going to be probably the most nerve-wracking, the most exciting SBFFC playoff you've ever had. And
I don't know. There was the year that I finished 4th or 5th. That it was pretty nerve-wracking because
you wasn't, I guess, very many opponents though.
No, not as many. No, but that was only about 3 years ago. It was
only about 3 years ago. Okay.
Yeah, it was the same year that that Bills and Bengals game just got canceled. And if Justin Jefferson had a Justin Jefferson week, I would have won everything.
God,
I would have won the main event. I would have won the high stakes. Like Justin Jefferson was my ride or die that year. But I ended up winning the Friday Night League because of that game. But had Justin Jefferson, he had a bad week that last week. And had he had a normal week, I would have won everything. But
no,
you can't cry over dropped receptions or
spilt bourbon.
Yeah,
spilt liquor.
I do cry over things like that. We can't waste those things.
Now, Chuck, you said your coffee tasted better this morning, right?
Well, I said if you doubting Kyle Pitts this morning, your coffee tasted a little sweeter. So I wasn't on the fortunate side of that stick.
Well, I'll tell you what, the last time that there was a waitress at the hotel we were staying at Monday morning, me and Krantz woke up hungover, and she was like, Mr. Hollywood, and she said, Mr. Hollywood, what would you like with your coffee? Bourbon.
Did she provide
Black.
that for you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had it already. I wanted to give her something. She was on the clock. And
I mean, having to put up with some of our guys, she might have needed it.
I'll tell you what, it was. I'll tell you what, you're off to a good start. I'm really proud of you, and you're listening to me. You're taking risks. That's why I'm telling every one of these owners that's in the championship round, and a lot of them have not been in the championship round before. They have got to take risks. They have got to take risks because the payout structure, you go from 10,000 to 2,500 to 1,200 to 1,000. Then you're going down to 500 to 250.
Well,
there's a big difference in the top of the mountain and the bottom of the mountain.
I mean, I'd like to get to the top of the mountain. I just don't think my team has got the ponies to get me there. But I think finishing in money is possible. At this point, it's anybody's game at any given time.
Yes.
If you were to put up 170 for 3 weeks, you probably win the league. Very few teams can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's one of those things where 45 out of your tight end that you were expecting 10 from is a pretty good start to the week. But like I said, got me up to 8th from 21st. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Well, yes, keep up the good work.
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, I'm the only one of the three of us that made it into the main event. I'm not saying that to put y'all down. I'm just trying to, like, I'm the only
You're
one.
our last hope.
Playoffs, right? Like, it's just me. Listen, we're in sad shape if I'm the last hope of the show.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to carry the banner as well as I can. I showed you. I sent you all a text in our group text of the crazy changes I'm making to the lineup. Because Lad McConkey's going to set his ass down. That's what's going to
dump his ass. Drop right now. Drop. Nobody else can get him. His players are locked.
Well, I don't want to. I want to have options, but I'd like him to not be one of them. But right now, we're going to give you options. We're going to take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsor. Give you options for your fantasy championship needs. Trophy Smack has got all of them. We're going to take a quick break to pay some love to our sponsor, Trophy Smack, here on the Fantasy Football Power Hour, presented by the SBFFC on the TN2M network of shows. And that was a quick word from Trophy Smack. Check them out, trophysmack.com. Tell them the SBFFC sent you. They have everything for all of your fantasy sports championship needs. Doesn't have to be football, baseball, basketball, whatever fantasy championship you need, whether it be trophies, belts, chains, helmets, pendants. They've got it all over there at trophysmack.com. And we're going to take another break of sorts, but it's a different break, Dr. Harwood. We're going to recognize our division champions.
Do you have any good background music that's not copyrighted to play? I mean,
oh, brother, I got all of that taken care of.
What about the little Clash of Champions thing, maybe? Or?
Well, I don't have that, but we are all gonna exit stage left. And I'm going to put on this video to recognize all of our division winners in the SBFFC. We'll be back after this video where we congratulate those that have fought so hard to win that fantasy football championship, of which I was not one of them. It pained me to not put my name in this video. Yes, I was the bridesmaid, not the bride, and I really wanted to be the bride. All right, I'm going to take us off the stage here, gentlemen. We're going to show this video, and we'll come back and give our thoughts and to continue as moving through the rest of the week in the NFL. And that was just a quick video to recognize all of the division winners in the SBFFC. With 24 of them, there are a lot. So I thought the best way to do that was to put it in a nice, neat package of a video. So
I like I like the Justin Farley one, kind of like the different fonts and everything. And tell you what, we got a lot of first time division winners, but then there's also some teams that have won many titles. So it's a good list of people in there, and there's going to be a lot of good times this playoffs. And I'm looking forward to see whoever wins it. And I'm gonna go ahead and decide. I'm gonna probably have to change the budget, or I'm gonna probably have to borrow some money, or have to ask Stu for another raise or something. But I'm gonna award the medals for first, second, and third overall in the standings. And my buddy Grant Duncan, he had an interesting question that like the week 1 to 12 total points, regular season total points is won by Dustin Krugel, but now like entering yesterday morning, the SBFFC does the playoffs weeks 1 to 14 average point total. Grant Duncan was at the top of the average after 1 to 14. He feels that I should give him a prize for that, and I agree with him. And I had never thought about that. I was always thinking regular season and then playoff winners and playoff winners, but Grant now has the highest average because he's scored a lot of points the last 2 weeks.
I don't know where I come out on that, because in my mind, if you've got the highest average, that's your reward based on the playoff system. In a playoff system, you start with your average total points. Like, to me, that's the reward. Is you're starting at the top of the leaderboard, and it's you're king of the mountain at least until that Thursday night kicks off.
Until about 7:30, and then they
until Cal gets his first touchdown, and then it changes. But I don't know. I don't know where I come out on stuff like that, because it's an accomplishment, but at the same time, like there is not a monetary reward, but there is a reward built in of sorts.
Now, Chuck, do I award that, or do I award 21st place in the playoffs?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Seth with that, because then you're getting into a spot where the regular season is over, and that's the way you have it set up. You have this prize structure for just the regular season. Now everything after that is basically a wash, and everybody isn't playing at that point. You got teams who won their divisions on a bye, and I agree with Seth with that. I think you keep it the way it is. It's structured right now,
and it's a good problem to have. Being that top average, and that's a different team than it was 2 weeks ago. And but I just thought that was interesting. I've done this now 16 years, and I've never had someone ask that until last night.
Well, I think, because it used to be, correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Harwood, because I've had a lot of drinks at these events, so my memory is fuzzy. But it used to be that everybody started at 0 in the playoffs, and it was just shootout for 3 weeks. And then at some point, not that long after the SBFFC started, we went to the average of your season total, which rewarded the regular season. But that's what I mean when I say I think that's the reward. It is that you've put in the work in the regular season, you get to start at the top. You have an advantage over everybody else, at least for a time. And if you continue to do what you have done in the regular season, you win the whole thing. Now, we know it doesn't always work that way. It rarely does. Somebody's going to get hot and win, and it feels like that's how it always works, is that somebody's got a team that's going to click. They might come out of nowhere and win the whole thing. So I don't know. That's my take on it. I think that, because there's already a reward in place for most points in the division, and there's already a reward in place for most wins in the division regular season. So I think the structure is good as it is.
It's I'll tell you what the structure is we've had that structure for a lot of years now. A lot of people know it. Now there's a there are people out there that will argue that we shouldn't have an average point total from weeks 1 to 14, but it rewards a good regular season body of work. So, I mean, there's different ways. I mean, I had one guy said that there should be a head-to-head playoffs. So,
well, that's what Friday night's for.
That's what Friday night is for. There's not as many teams. I mean,
yeah.
The first year of the SBFFC, there was a head-to-head playoffs because there was 48 teams in it, and we had the top 16.
That's
made
a little more manageable as
right.
well.
So you'd almost would have to, like at 276 teams, you'd all have to do a cut line, like a qualifying for week, like in golf.
Well, I think, I mean, I don't know if these are conversations we necessarily need to have on YouTube, but I will say that I think the structure works as it is. There's, to my knowledge, never been a major problem with it. So I would say just leave the structure as it is. I am a big proponent of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It's not broke at all. It's still shiny as all get out. But there is a lot of starting to see questions that's been texted to me tonight, but they haven't been posted on YouTube. So
yeah, if you're out there, throw your start sit questions in the comments. We will go over those momentarily.
There's quite a few of them.
Do we want to hit some of those, or do we want to wait?
Well, do we, Chuck? Do you have a serious talk? Do you have like a come to Jesus meeting with anybody needs a come to Jesus meeting or anything? Or
yeah, I have a small one this week if our producer is so inclined.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, guys, I'm here to tell you I should take some of my own advice. I'm here every week. I give you guys advice, so I should take some of my own. Last week, these gentlemen on this show can attest to the fact that I basically said, if your grandmother was playing against the Washington Commanders defense, you should use her. And going into a very important game last week, I picked up J.J. McCarthy, put him in my starting lineup, and at the last moment, overthought it, pulled him out, and put Daniel Jones back in. That move cost me a first-round buy and also $500 cash in my pocket.
Christie's pocket.
In Christie's pocket, yes.
Make sure.
Guys, we've all been doing this for years. If I can give you a piece of advice right here, right now, trust your gut and do not overthink it. Trust your gut. Do not overthink it. And that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna chime in. I agree, because I'm the king of panic before the 12 o'clock games. I will look at my lineup, analyze it, overanalyze it, and then do something stupid. 12 o'clock games. That's did I just hear myself in my ear? That's freaky.
I heard it too.
So I'm the king of that. You have to, if you're playing this sport, we'll call it. I don't know that it is, but whatever you want to call it. If you're playing this game, you've done it for a while, and chances are you've had some success. And if I were betting, I would bet that your success came because there was a time that you weren't sure about something. You said, you know what, this is what I think is going to happen, and you stuck with it. And you've got to, in these playoff situations, there's no room for error. There's not. I mean, especially in the SBFFC format or a Vegas format, where a total point playoff format, there is zero room for error. And you have got to do what you feel like is right, as opposed to what 800 talking heads tell you may or may not be right. Because just like anything else. So I'm a teacher by trade. It's what I do every day. And I tell my students, I teach social studies, and we talk about news and sources and things like that a lot. And one of the things I always tell them is, you can find whatever you want to believe, you can find somebody that believes it, and somebody that's got that that you can go on the internet and find stuff about anything. And it's the same thing with fantasy football. If you want to believe that a player is not going to be good that week, you'll find it. You'll find somebody that says it, and you'll talk yourself into it. If you think somebody's going to be great and it's this is the sleeper of the week, you'll find somebody that says it and you'll believe it. So at some point you have to rely on yourself more than others. I mean, and I say that as someone who's telling people who to start and set on YouTube. But the fact of the matter is, I mean, we can give you the best advice that we have and we can tell you what we would do. But the bottom line is we aren't setting the lineup for you. You are. You've got to set that lineup yourself, and you've got to do what's best for you. And, as silly as it sounds, sometimes it's what's best for your family because, look, there's a lot of money involved in this, and I don't want to say it can be life-changing, but it certainly can be year-changing. It can provide Christmas or whatever else. So, anyways, sorry. I think I just gave the serious talk, Chuck. Did you pass that off to me?
That was absolutely perfect, sir. 100%.
Here's my serious talk, guys. I like the way you said. See, you're the one that submits the line, not me, not you, not Chuck. You're the only one that can set
it. I know what's coming.
Or not set it and then come back Monday and say, well, I would have had Judy in for Marvin Harrison. Can you change it back? If I did that, we'd have the biggest scandal since the NFFC and Derek Bouchard.
Yeah, you got
to wait till Monday. That's my serious talk.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I know the situation. I'm not going to elaborate on it, but
they need a brain test.
If you notice something's wrong with your lineup, like you got to send that text ASAP. I mean, technology does fail sometimes, but you got to send that text to your league commissioner ASAP. It can't be the next day after one guy on your bench had a great game and you played somebody that was injured. But right now we're going to take a early break. We have tons of start set questions, gentlemen. Are we all right with that?
Yes, and there's more coming.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break, pay some love to our sponsor, Trophy Smack. You are watching the Fantasy Football Power Hour presented by the SBFFC on the TN2M network of shows. Be back in a minute after a word from our sponsor. TrophySmack.com is your home for everything fantasy championship related, whether it be belts, trophies, pendants, chains, helmets, Dr. Harwood back massages. They have everything that you need. And when you go there, tell them the SBFFC sent you and tell them that it looks like Godzilla is trying to attack me from behind. It's one of those nights. So we've got a ton of start set questions. Let's get to some of them. I know there's been some on the text machine there, and I'll let Dr. Harwood handle those. But let's get started with Amber Bishop, who says need two. They said that in a different comment, but need two, likely Addison Corum, Mike Wilson, or Stevenson. I'm assuming that's Ramondre. Who do we like here?
That was Ramondre. So, Chuck, go ahead.
This is a tough one, Amber, and I'll tell you why. I have been saying it probably for the last 6 weeks, and I'm sticking with it. This Houston Texans team is starting to smell an awful lot like the 2000 Ravens team.
I agree.
That defense is for real, and there isn't a wide receiver in the league that can score against it. So with that being said, I know this is going to hurt because I know you want us to say start Mike Wilson, but I have to say bench Mike Wilson this week for that reason. They shut Rashee Rice down, made him look like an amateur last week. They abused him time and time again. You got to set Mike Wilson. I'm sorry. Isaiah Likely, even though he's playing Cincinnati and every tight end in the NFL scores on Cincinnati, they still have Mr. Andrews there as well. So that's tough. For me, Blake Corum has been getting a lot of carries lately, and if you need points, he's looking like he's been getting 12, 13, 14 touches the last few weeks. Blake Corum, I would probably start out of this bunch. And if Jordan Addison hasn't been nursing an Achilles injury all week, I'd say he would be the second start.
They did clear him.
They did clear him today.
Yeah.
God, as hard as it says, I'm going to have to go with Corum and Stevenson. Stevenson will get carries against Buffalo this week. They're going to need him.
I'm going to go a different direction. I'm going to say I think Stevenson is one of them for me because as much as it kills Travion Henderson owners, Ramondre is the number one back there. He gets the most carries when he's healthy. We didn't think that was going to be the case going in, but Mike Vrabel has other thoughts, and he's the guy that controls things. For me, the second is going to be Jordan Addison. Against a terrible Cowboys defense, he's been cleared. I don't have a reason to believe that they would, clear him if he wasn't okay. That Cowboys defense is atrocious. J.J. McCarthy looked okay this past week. I play him over Corum because I'm just not convinced Corum's going to long-term be the guy this year with Kyron Williams still there.
Williams scored a touchdown last week.
Yeah, Williams scored a touchdown last week. We also have to remember that it was a blowout too. Mm-hmm. I mean, they've been in some blowouts, and that helps a guy like Corum. You can't bank on blowouts all the time. The Rams play the Lions. I don't foresee this game being a blowout. And because of that, I'll take the worst defense, and that's the Cowboys. But for me, I think it's Stevenson, and I think it's Addison. That's who I would play. Dr. Harwood.
Well, I agree with Chuck. I do like the Houston Texans defense there for real. But Mike Wilson, the last 3 weeks, he might be an echelon of wide receivers. Now, they did shut down Rashee Rice last week. But, Michael Wilson seems like he is
the whole Chiefs offense.
I mean, it seems like Michael Wilson is untouchable because he has 115 plus yards and 15 plus targets each of his last 3 games without Harrison in there. Arizona leads the league in pass rate over expectation. What's going to end up happening? Houston may get up a couple touchdowns, and then they may get Michael Wilson to get some garbage time. Michael Wilson's receiver prop is 54.5. Isaiah Likely is 31.5. Let's say both of them score a touchdown. So right there, I think Wilson is above Likely. I don't trust Stevenson because I think Travion Henderson's on the rise. Addison's matchup is interesting because Jeff Mans loves Justin Jefferson this week.
I do too.
And so if you're picking 2, Mike Wilson was one of the reasons why, Amber, you won your division title. Oh, excuse me. David won his division title. So Amber Bishop's fast becoming the number 2 lady in fantasy football in the SBFFC. And I'd start Mike Wilson because you've got to start what got you there. And number 2, I'd go with Likely just because there's not going to be a lot of likely owners that's going to be likely to start him in the lineup and likely get him to a position. Did I say likely?
You did say likely. All right, let's burn through these a little bit quicker if we can, just because we've got a ton and they're still coming in. Harley wants to know Burrow or Hurts this week.
Another division champion. I tell you what, Jalen Hurts was dog doo-doo last week, but you've got to start him against Vegas, and I'd barely give him the notch over Burrow. It's close.
Yeah.
And Hurts may not outscore Burrow until the end of the game, but I think Hurts is going to be slightly better. What do y'all think?
I like Hurts here just because of the matchup. I think the Raiders are terrible. The Raven, it always feels like those AFC North games end up being tight, and the Ravens Bengals are usually, it's a pretty good game, and it's usually a pretty tight game. So I like Hurts this week, despite, because I think if Hurts doesn't have that abysmal performance last week, I don't even think this is a question. I think this is recency bias. because Hurts had a really bad game. I just don't see that happening against because the Raiders defense is not the Chargers defense. Chargers defense is pretty good overall. And so I'll take Hurts here. Chuck.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think you're going to see Philly come back out and establish the run again and do what they do best and run play action off of that, and then get Hurts running. You'll finally see Hurts get a rushing touchdown or two again this week. I love Joe Burrow. I agree with what you guys said. That matchup with Baltimore is always different. That could be a slobber knocker type game. So for me, it's definitely Hurts.
Go Cards. I don't like your. I'm assuming if that's a Louisville fan. I don't love your name, but that's okay.
What's up, Antoine?
Is that Antoine?
Oh yeah, what's up, man?
I love Antoine. I don't love your college choices, Antoine. He says golf or May. I'm going to jump in here with this because I read today that Drake May might be a candidate for MVP. And I think if you have an MVP candidate on your team in a matchup against a not great defense, because let's face it, the Bills' defense has been bad. I'm taking Drake May here. I know you drafted Goff first, and Goff is your starter or has been, but I think Drake May is the next big thing in the NFL, and I don't know that I set him for the rest of the year if I've got him.
I'd start May over Goff, and I'm gonna kill two birds with one stone. There's a question down here at the bottom: May or Darnold? I'd start Drake May over Darnold and Goff. Yeah,
it's for me, Goff is playing the Rams. The Rams play a lot of cover 2, so there's lots of holes in that zone. So Goff will throw for a lot of yards, but the Rams don't give up a ton of touchdowns. May can run the ball. They'll score more touchdowns against Buffalo. So this is definitely May.
This one comes from Brian from Bowling Green. He says Mahomes or May. I'm gonna go May here again. I know it's unconventional to set Pat Mahomes, but Drake May he's him. He's the dude.
He's the man.
And then Genty or Bam Knight. I don't even think this is a question. I think you've got to play Genty here against because Bam Knight's got an awfully tough matchup, as we've already talked about with Houston. And so I'm going to take Genty and May here, guys. Chuck, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, Genty and May for me as well.
Genty for May here as well. And this is a guy that is not allowed to post on YouTube, so you have to go through me personally to protect the innocent. May and Genty.
Oh, geez. I mean, are there people in Sing Sing watching us?
Maybe.
Hello out in Sing Sing. I know you're all innocent. We've already kind of covered this. May or Darnold. I'm taking May here.
Yeah, May.
This next question is from D. Munson, Darren Munns, the Columbia College baseball coach who was in your division, Seth. That's his question there.
Okay. Well, I'm still going to answer it honestly. Actually, he was texting me rooting for me to win the championship, and I do appreciate that. I failed us all. Drake May or Joe Burrow. I'm still taking Drake May. I mean, there's not that many quarterbacks I'm going to take over Drake May this week or any week. I mean, he's a top 5 quarterback right now. And if I've got a top 5 quarterback, I'm playing him. And that's part of a serious talk too, Chuck, is that part of trusting your gut is, yeah, you drafted Joe Burrow first, but Joe Burrow's not putting up the numbers Drake May is. And you got to go with the hot hand, at least in that case. Because it's not like a Blake Corum situation, because I don't want to seem like a hypocrite. Blake Corum was the hot hand last week, but we're talking about quarterbacks. Drake May's not sharing time with anybody, and Drake May is going to put up numbers. So I take Drake May here. Dr. Harwood.
Drake May all the way.
Yeah, I take Drake May, and then his pick 1. I'm going to go with Jordan Mason out of those guys. I think he gets a lot of touches this week.
Okay, so that's a lot. We got Corum. I'm out on Corum. Vidal. I don't know how I feel about Vidal because Hampton was back, but Vidal got the bulk of the carries. I don't know if that means that they're keeping him as the one, or they're just easing Hampton back in. I think I wait a week on that. Singletary, I'm out on just because I don't know. Hang on.
I'm going to start it.
Singletary's got Washington. And Chuck, your own advice says anybody that's playing Washington, take Washington.
Well, in the secondary.
Okay.
Might catch some passes, though.
Tyrone Tracy's back this week.
Okay. That changes things. So Jordan Mason, I think, is probably who I go with here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, and these 5 players is like picking the nicest guy in prison. Isavos may start with T. Higgins out due to concussion. So he might have the chance to be your ceiling player instead of these other 4 bums. Now, if you want to go running back, I'd go with the one that you think would score a touchdown, or I'd go Isavos.
Isavos, even when he was the number 1 guy, didn't get a ton of touches.
No, but he can get a long catch and head for the end zone.
He could. When Jamar Chase, that's who they want to feed the ball to. I would be between Singletary, Mason, and Vidal. I'm going to change my pick. I'm going to say Vidal. Because he's still the guy that's getting the carries. Until he's not getting the carries, I'm going to go Vidal because, they like to throw it to him out of the backfield too. He's going to start, and he's still going to get 15 to 20 carries. All right. We got another question. Play against me, says Ricky Pearsall, Luther Burden, Iavisis, Keyshawn Butte, pick 2 in a 12-team PPR. I think for me, Luther Burden is a lock because I don't think Adunze plays. Adunze has not been ruled out, but I don't think he plays. And they're playing a Cleveland team that doesn't have their best receiver because they've already ruled out Denzel Ward. So I think Luther Burden for me is a lock. I'll let you guys talk about it while I figure out who I think the second person is.
Chuck, you go ahead if you're ready.
Well, for me, the name that sticks out on this list is Ricky Pearsall. I think you see this guy get uncorked this week. I think Pearsall is going to have a good week. The second pick for me should be extremely easy in Luther Burden. My only problem with that game this week is air temperature in that game is supposed to be negative 15 to 20 degrees. That is cool, gentlemen. That is
heat
cool.
Wave. Woo!
So, but these guys can play in the elements. So for me, it's going to be Pearsall and Burden.
I'm going to go Pearsall and Burden too because Pearsall plays the Titans. I think Pearsall will get 60 yards, 5 catches, and a touchdown, if not more.
I'll just go ahead for simplicity's sake because I don't believe in Iavisis, and Keyshawn Butte is so hit or miss. He could have 2 touchdowns. He could have a Ladd McConkey game. And so I'll go Pearsall and I'll go Burden here. He also has a question for me. But you all feel free to jump in here as well. It says, who is the wide receiver 1 in Cleveland next year? Tillman, Bond, Judy, or is this player not on the team? Can't say Quinshawn or Fannin. I'm going to say it's a player not on the team. My guess is a receiver that's – because I believe they're going to build around Shedeur Sanders now. He's looked good. I was not a Shedeur fan. I'm starting to become a fan because of how his escapability and his feel in the pocket. He made some bad throws, but he made a lot of really, really good throws. That touchdown he threw to Harold Fannin in the corner of the end zone against Tennessee that's an NFL throw. That's a throw that a franchise quarterback makes. If I were to guess, I'd say Carnell Tate. I don't know that. Obviously, it'll depend on where they're picking, but I think it is not someone on the team. If I have to pick from who they have on the team on the roster now, it's Judy. But I'll tell you a guy that maybe a fanball pick is I don't remember his first name. I probably should. Shame on me. But Larvidan is a guy that's getting a lot of targets. He's getting a lot of catches. He's not breaking big ones, but he's getting targets. And he's a guy that you can sneak into like a fanball DFS type situation. And they like him a lot, it seems. So Larvidan is a guy that's not even mentioned there that I think they really, really like, and will play a role, I think, moving forward. Any thoughts on the Browns, guys? I mean, I know I'm the Browns guy, but you all feel free to jump in there as well.
Larvidan, that sounds like some kind of a medicine.
Oh well, actually, to me it sounds like a worm, like larva.
Scotty Too Hottie, gotcha.
That's right.
David Tate, friend of everybody's here. Love David Tate. He thinks DJ Moore may sign in Cleveland. Maybe Garrett Wilson. Maybe Jalen Waddle if Miami blows up the roster.
I have a hard time seeing DJ Moore in Chicago next year, just because he's basically been passed. I mean, Odunze and Luther Burden are sort of passing him up right now. Let's see.
I don't think Cleveland can take on that contract that Garrett Wilson just signed either. They got contract problems of their own.
Yeah, they've got one more year paying,
useless. They got one more year paying useless.
Yeah, you put it politely. I was not going to, so thank you. I have thoughts on him that I won't share in public. Let's see. Okay, Play Against Me has another good question. Is Drake May going third next year in the SBFFC over Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson? I think it's a great question.
I don't think Lamar Jackson will go 1-2. I don't think Lamar Jackson is even part of it.
I think he's just talking about quarterbacks. Harwood, not one picks 1, 2.
Yeah,
3.
yeah. He's talking.
Right.
About, yeah.
I understand. I understand that. But I just don't know
who's basically.
I don't know if Lamar.
Who's your third quarterback? He's saying that Lamar and Josh Allen are your top 2 quarterbacks. Now, whether you believe that, it sounds like you don't, Harwood, that Lamar will be a top quarterback next year. Listen, I want the world to not think Lamar is the top quarterback, because I'll take him in the 5th and be glad to do it.
I agree with Allen and May being a top 2, but you have to make an argument for Stafford, Prescott, and maybe Jalen Hurts as well. So that third quarterback is going to be wide open. I think it'll be Allen 1 and May 2 right now.
So
you think he's a top 2 quarterback?
I believe so. I believe so.
I think I agree with the good doctor. I think May is inching his way up there.
For me, it's hard for me to put May above a healthy Joe Burrow with what Joe Burrow's going to have around him. They're not going to let that O-line be that bad next year. I also have a hard time believing that. They're going to do something to address that offensive line situation. If he's got T. Higgins, he's got Jamar Chase. Maybe they find a better tight end than Gesicki and Noah Fant, who feels like bums they found off the street. He's got Chase Brown. I mean, it's hard for me to put – I love Drake May, so don't get me wrong here. But it's hard for me to put somebody over Joe Burrow if Joe Burrow's healthy and he has his full accompaniment of weapons around him. I just think he's got too much around him to not be successful. And he's already had good games since he's been back. I start Drake May this week over him, and I start him the rest of the year over him because I don't know that he's 100%. I think he's just playing through it. Mm-hmm. Give him a full offseason to recover. I'll take Joe Burrow is the second or third quarterback next year. But I hope people sleep on Lamar, because if you're in my division, trust me, I'm going to take him. If he makes it 4th or 5th round, that's happening. Because Lamar is as bad as he's played, he's still Lamar. And I don't think that's going to change. We got another question here. We might wrap up on this one. Country Boy Jazz.
Heck Williams Jr. Here we go. Go ahead.
9423. Not Country Boy Jazz 9424. It's 9423. Yeah, that's
from Beverly Hills.
That's the important one. Okay, so we're just setting his whole lineup, it looks like.
Let's go. Let's do it.
All right. So he says start who? 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex. So this is not an SBFFC person, I don't think. So welcome, Country Boy. you have found us, and I'm glad you did. Purdy or Mahomes? All right, so let's just go position by position because I think that'll make this easier. Brock Purdy or Patrick Mahomes this week? Chuck.
I'm gonna go with Purdy just because they're playing Tennessee. Lock and go ahead and throw CMC in there with them. Playing the Titans this week.
That's a good stack there. You can start a good stack there. I agree with Purdy and McCaffrey. Now
So,
I've got Mahomes ranked slightly above in the rankings, but I think Purdy's going to be the better play.
all right, so we got Purdy. So we think Purdy is the guy.
Purdy.
CMC is, I think, a lock. You don't even need to put his name. I mean, they put his name on there because they want help setting their lineup. So CMC is a must. Jones, I'm assuming that's Aaron Jones.
Alwyn Jones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Walker.
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez is questionable now.
Yeah, he pulled a hamstring in practice this week, so he's questionable. If he wasn't questionable, I would start him.
I think he plays, and I start him here.
Yeah, I got to go with Rodriguez here. Walker has been probably one of the 2 or 3 biggest disappointments in football this year. So I agree, Seth. Rodriguez.
Yeah, I think C-Rod is the guy. He's got a groin or a hamstring issue, but he's been practicing. He's been limited, but he's been practicing. Mm-hmm. And he's playing a bad Giants defense that gives up chunks to running backs. So I'm putting him in there even over Aaron Jones. And then Olave, Diggs, Jennings, Terry.
We can't use Godwin now. Godwin's already played.
So you can't
definitely. So Olave is a lock. Is a lock.
I agree.
And I like Terry McLaurin even with Mariota against the Giants defense. That Giants defense is bad. When Mariota played with Terry a few weeks ago, Terry lit up the scoreboard. So let's do Olave and Terry McLaurin here for me.
I like Olave and also like Juwan Jennings as the second wide receiver. Go ahead and put Diggs in the flex just for consistency.
I'm out on Diggs. I think there's too much inconsistency in that wide receiving core. And it's not because they're bad. It's because they spread the ball around so much. I think Olave is a lock. I think I agree on McLaren. So let's go to tight end Waller and Strange. It's Brenton Strange to me. Waller, I don't even know that, Waller might not make it through the whole game. He's so injury prone. Brenton Strange, they try to get the ball to a lot in Jacksonville. They also are playing the Jets, and the Jets are awful. So I take Brenton Strange there. 49ers defense, is that a question right now, guys?
Playing the Titans, baby. Throw them in there.
Take the 49ers. So now we need the flex. So for me, just looking at these, I think I'm putting in Aaron Jones here because they're playing the Cowboys. That's who I'm putting in.
He could get some catches, and that would make sense. I would not put Waller at the flex, and I would not put.
No. For me, it would either be Jennings or Aaron Jones. For me,
I'm putting Jones in for the defense he's playing because the Titans defense against the run has been okay. And so I think I go Jones. So this is me. All right. You all can give yours. I'd go Purdy, CMC, Jones, C-Rod, Olave, Terry, McLaurin, Strange, 49ers D. That's who I go.
All in. I'm with you.
Doc, you have a little different take on it.
Well, I mean, Kenneth Walker has burned so many teams, including yours truly. I mean, it's hard to start him in the playoffs. Rodriguez questionables. I mean, I would go CMC and Jones at the running back just to maybe get some catch against the Cowboys. And wide receiver Olave has gotten some garbage time as of late. Juwan Jennings playing the Titans. That's a third 49er, and that's including your defense. So he's going to be a 49ers dependent on offense. Then Strange at the tight end. Diggs could have a pretty decent game only because of the quarterback he's playing. I mean, Diggs is definitely the biggest name out there, but he's only ranked 27th. But he's playing Buffalo, and that could be a wild shootout of a game, guys.
Some people throw out revenge narrative. I don't buy into that all the time. But I buy into. I have seen so many wide receivers for New England that it's Booty one week, it's Diggs one week, it's Kyle Williams a different week. So I just think they spread the ball around too much for me to be confident in telling somebody in the playoffs to play a New England. I'll tell you to play Drake May all day. I'll tell you to play Ramondre Stevenson. I'm not going to pick. You know who the best pass catcher is on that team? Hunter Henry. He's the most reliable.
Mm-hmm.
That's Double H.
Yeah. So to me, I just can't play a Patriots receiver unless I have to. If I have other options, I'm going to pick somebody else. That doesn't now, Country Boy, you do as Chuck has ordered, and trust your gut. But if you're listening to us, I think at least two of the three consensus is Olave and Terry McLaurin there. But I want C-Rod. I like C-Rod a lot this week. Even if he's banged up, I like C-Rod a lot this week because he has taken over that backfield. He's not sharing it with anybody right now.
He's taking over that backfield. But however, he's only ranked on this list. He's ranked outside the top 25 on my end. I mean,
I'll tell you this. This is the Phoenix Rock and Seth Birch talking. I am starting him in the main event. So
starting the main event. Okay. Because you've got to take. I understand that. I would support you on that.
Well, I'm just this. This is why fantasy football is both beautiful and frustrating at the same time. Three guys can have a conversation and have three different opinions. Well, actually, there's three of us and we'll have 8 different opinions. So it's beautiful and frustrating.
And then the ninth opinion will be the right one.
But you're right. The one we haven't gotten yet.
Now, here's one. Michael Quinzel texted me and said, Michael Pittman with or Michael Pittman or Devon Vele with a rookie, or Michael Pittman with Fred G. Sanford Rivers.
I would go with Pittman.
I mean, I guess you go with Pittman there, but I don't like either one of those options.
I don't know that Phillip Rivers has been named the starter yet, guys. I think we're jumping the gun on that way too fast.
I think we are too. I mean,
yeah.
I think he does start, but I do think the gun is being jumped on way too fast.
Yeah.
But I believe he'll start. I think Pittman would be better suited if he started because Leonard's not that good. And actually, Leonard proved he liked Alex Pierce a lot more anyway. That's who he threw it to more in that game. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us tonight, guys. Great show. We went a little bit over, but that's okay. Final thoughts tonight. We'll start with Dr. Harwood.
Well, for those that's I've talked to several SBFFC world champions this week, Steve Karowski, Jim Collis, Kelly Thompson, and Mr. Fantasy Luke Keith. And they said, don't worry about the place you're in the standings, worry about how many points you're out. And also take risk when playing plate guys with upside. Seth proved with Kyle Pitts, may prove it again with Chris Rodriguez. And
I'm rolling the dice.
So
scared money don't make money, baby.
That's a quote from Edward Bradley and Brendan Sneed. Dead money don't make money, and enjoy the ride. And I look forward to presenting the champion with the $10,000 trophy next season. And I think the person that's going to win it is going to be the one that's going to manage it the best. It's going to be the one that's going to make the best coaching decisions, not the guys that got the best talent.
Well, I'm just going to throw this out here, Doc. I'm not going to win, but if I did, I want a belt. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yes.
Chuck,
it's easier to pack, easier to ship.
Listen, if you give me that big trophy, I got nowhere to put it. It's going to be sitting in storage. I can display a belt. Chuck, final thoughts tonight.
Hey guys, as we wind down to the end of the season, we all play fantasy football to have fun. I see guys that this game in general and sports betting has ruined their lives, tore their lives completely apart. This is supposed to be for fun, fellas. It is something that isn't work, that isn't the everyday stress of life. Keep it that way. Keep it simple. Like I said, trust your gut, trust your instinct. And like Mr. At Play Again Me said, don't sit your studs. Play your studs.
I'm gonna give a mini serious talk here as I close things out. I agree with everything that's been said, especially about having fun. The other thing I'll say here, absolutely do not, because I see people doing this and it drives me insane. Don't go to social media and at players because they didn't win your fantasy game. Like, it's a game. It's a game. If it's that serious for you, like, we can find a support group because it's just a game. Like, yeah, it sucks. I lost $500 this week because somebody didn't get an extra catch. You know what? My life's gonna go on, and I'm gonna be okay. Like, it sucks, and I have fun with it. I'm in the do not draft. I don't like Lad McConkey fan club. I'm not going to go to social media and tell him I hate him because he's a human being. Like,
you'll say it to his face.
Right. At the end of the day, these guys are all humans. Like, we all humans. And I don't want to sound sappy or corny, but the fact of the matter is it ain't that important that you need to be messaging negativity to somebody on social media because you lost a fantasy football game, something that's not real. Like, it's called fantasy for a reason. And those of us that love it, do it the right way, don't partake in that type of behavior. You should not either. And if you're watching this and you have, shame on you. I don't care if I lose a viewer because of that. Shame on you. You shouldn't be atting players because they lost you a fantasy game. That's my soapbox. That's my mini serious talk for tonight.
You got that right.
Have fun with it. Set the lineups. Make sure you're checking injury reports because that news comes in quick on Sunday mornings. That's going to do it
right.
For us, for Chuck, for Dr. Harwood. I'm Seth Burgett, and you've been watching the Fantasy Football Power Hour presented by the SBFFC on the TN2M network of shows.
So long for now.